Hello and welcome to Jarviskjir Here Be Heroes. We have replaced Will with a doggo.
Much better.
It's an upgrade in all ways. Oh, Penny's so fluffy. Penny is like the fluffiest dog.
She needs a haircut.
She needed a haircut last week as well.
She did. We have an appointment on Monday.
Okay, good. At least you're taking care of that. All right, hey chat, how you doing? Like I said, no Will. I actually am a bad friend and don't remember why he's not here. But
Thanksgiving.
It's Thanksgiving.
Canadian Thanksgiving.
I can't keep track of all the colonies' Thanksgivings. Okay, that's a lot to do. So we're just nothing special. We're just gonna do the show. It's exactly the same, aside from we don't have a nerd, and it'll probably be an upgrade. So, what happened last week? You are continuing to investigate the King of Spears to try and put the Banshee in the library to rest. There was a brilliant time of Virik sneaking around as a drow shadow monk should do, and understandably doing very good at it. Where he basically found out that the King of Spears is using a drug to make the Forgotten, the people of this city who are, no one else cares about, into sort of willing pawns in this game, and followed them back to two places, a vineyard and a catacomb, where you then investigated the vineyard, you found some zombies, and you found Elodie's corpse, which Barut has now taken a duty of putting her truly to rest by taking her back to the city. It's fine. The recap's for chat, not you.
Yeah.
You don't need to hear it, as my internet continues to be terrible. I don't know why. I've tried everything, aside from like dark magic. That's the next step.
I was just about to say, have you tried witchcraft?
I should. It might be the only thing that can get through to like an internet service provider.
Next step.
Yeah. It's so annoying. Anyway, Barut is now back in Thunderall. You return to Thunderall with the body of Elodie, and Barut basically was like, I'm gonna do my duty as a cleric of the Elvish gods, and I'm gonna put her to rest. And that's what he's doing in one of the churches in the city that's quite near your tavern. If I remember correctly, you actually spent a good deal of the day out there, so it's actually quite late by the time you're walking the streets on the way loosely back to your tavern to try and figure out what you want to do with your time. There are several things you could do. I mean, you know that the agents of the King of Spears have something to do with that Elvish catacomb outside of the city, a good deal away, just like the vineyard. It's a couple of hours outside the city, and I'm sure that a lot of you have other things, of course, that you could or would do. So it's really up to you what your plans are going to be.
I might go out and try and get myself one of those vials that they're handing out. Try and at least get the actual stuff.
The blue wine. Yes. Well, so there's a couple of ways about how you could do that.
Yeah.
You could try and get some from one of the people who are imbibing it, or you could try and get some from one of the King of Spears, higher level sort of enforcers who are actually selling the stuff, the fences.
Yeah, I think it probably is going to be easier if I try and get it off someone who's gotten it off them, considering I don't need a full bottle. I just need a bottle that has some in it, and that they seem to be impaired when they're drinking it. So
that's true.
I need to take a short rest first anyway, because I need shadows and stealthiness.
Well, that's entirely fine. After all, you not only have you just had a small fight, but you also just did a bunch of walking. So if you take your short rest, either back in your tavern or just sort of like sitting and chilling outside in like the city, it's entirely fine to spend.
I probably need to do the makeup and stuff again as well. So I'd probably
if you're going out again, it's probably smart. Cool. All right.
I don't want to step on anyone else. Anyone else has something to do first, because I'd be doing that late at night. So
No, but I do understand why you want to alone with the element of surprise and stealth and all that.
Yep.
However, perhaps it might be beneficial if we were nearby, in case things went sour.
it's not a bad idea. Yeah.
We would remain hidden wherever you would think best.
Within shouting distance, I think it's probably best.
Yeah.
I can run fast. If someone engages me, I can go very far, very fast.
Mhm.
So as long as you're within the general vicinity, I should be able to get to you guys.
I mean, better yet, we should just set up an ambush in like an alley or something, and if anything goes terrible, just run to us,
Mm.
and then we can not only back, but also ambush someone chasing
Actually,
you.
yeah, I would know generally where these things are being handed out, wouldn't I?
Yeah, you there's sort of this district of the city that I believe they're called like Waterdown or something, because it's where all the water runs down because it's the lowest point in this part of the city. You've spent a bit of time going around there. You could pretty easily find an ambush spot if you wanted to.
Okay. Then yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah, so I'd say find a place that's say 120 foot or a little bit more away from one of these spots where they're
Within
being
shouting
handed out.
distance.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
Pardon?
Quite literally.
Yeah.
So you spend an hour resting. In the time you do that, it is more or less, it's late afternoon. It's not fully night, but there's a little bit of gloom. There's a rain cover, which is sort of making it even darker here than normally would be. This is sort of time when people are starting to light their lanterns and things. And many folks are starting to find wherever they're going to lay their head for the evening. You make up yourself up.
I realized that I can probably also get them fairly close, get them to the area and then move on without being seen as well. Because I'm going to do I forgot how to do spells for a second. Pass without trace.
Yeah.
So,
if you want to,
we go together to the ambush point, and then I'll go from there.
Yeah, I mean, for straight up just walking around, you don't have to do a stealth roll. But if you want to try and have the element of surprise from everyone, so even just people on the street won't know you're there, and you're essentially trying to ambush people who would just be, around.
Ideal.
I think everyone doing a stealth check
once
is.
we get to that district, we know that people are on the take, and not even maybe willingly, so it could be anyone.
Yeah.
So it's probably a good idea.
All right, stealth rolls, team.
All right. Stealth it is.
We're plus 10.
Really? The one way this can fail. The one way this can fail.
You know what? This is going to be a good week. So, you're starting to travel.
I'll tell you what, at least I'm hidden, so
You're doing real well. So this is kind of how it goes down. You all know where you're going. You've been there before, but Virik knows this a little bit more intimately because he kind of prowled around from the rooftops and saw the scene from a drow's eye perspective. And you're starting to go down to the Waterdown district. When you're going there and you're starting to move quietly, Tobias is perfectly fine. He's not a city ranger by any way, but he just knows how to move quietly and how to conceal himself, especially when the shadows around him are kind of concealing his footsteps even more. He's starting to blend in with the rain. You're having no trouble at all. In fact, you guys kind of lose Tobias. He's around, but he doesn't even worry about stealthing with the group as he often does. It's just sort of, I'm gonna find a place because I'm a freaking ranger with a bow. I'm gonna find my own place. Meanwhile, Aelnor has chainmail. It's not quiet, and Aelnor is not quiet as well. She's the kind of person that when she's trying to move quietly, she'll get annoyed that she isn't moving quietly, and then be even louder because of that. And Virik,
Bit of stomping.
Yeah, there's a lot of stomping, and there's like puddles and things, so it's even worse. Virik, unfortunately, is such a kind soul. You're trying to help her a lot. You're trying to sort of weave your magic around her, or just be like, no, walk like this, walk like this. So you two are kind of together, which you don't even really think in the moment. Virik is like, it's totally blowing your spot as well. Tobias is way off the side. So while you're sneaking around, you know, a muddy cobblestone street with this sort of the tight layout of these buildings, it's actually a city guard who walks up to you, wearing the same garb as all the other city guard have here, elves in their sort of faux gold sort of armor, and straight up is like, "What are you two doing prowling around?" And has like his hand on the sword on his hip already, just like Virik has dealt with enough city guards to know that is not.
We have business here. Would you like to see our bit for our work?
Show me.
Of course, and I will pull out the paperwork that I have regarding our mission.
Yeah, exactly. You pull out the contract, and he kind of looks at it, and like raises it up to like a nearby lantern so he can look at it even easier, and then sort of hands it back and says, "I don't see a library or a banshee in the local area."
Well, it's a far more complicated story than that, and I will proceed to go into the entire thing to him.
Oh no!
Just tell him the whole thing.
Virik, do you stop her at any point, or you're just like,
You know what? No, I don't. I think I probably wouldn't at this stage. It's like, oh, this is happening.
The guard sort of stands there, very much like I am now, like arms crossed, listening. Not often saying much, but sometimes, you know, you know when you're talking to someone and they don't respond in long enough that you think they're not listening, and you kind of like check. That would probably happen because Aelinor understands that elves are like this, but is still very much human, and unlike some other people who would just sort of allow them that, like, and he listens this whole time and kind of nods, is like, I understand. You can continue going about your business here. Just be careful. It's a dark night.
Thank you.
And we'll turn quite swiftly and start walking.
As soon as he's out of range, I'm just going to turn to Eleanor. Plans changed. He's working for them, I'm pretty sure. We're going to set up an ambush somewhere around here.
Oh, okay.
He walked up to us with his hand on his sword immediately just for asking about where we are. Or why we're here.
I mean, he seems to be the most proactive guard I've seen here.
Elven guards aren't practical normally. And they know what we're working on, so I'm figuring someone's going to come and try and stop us from working on that now. So we should find a place to set up. Tobias! Is Tobias within like this area? Did he see all that?
Kind of up to Tobias.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm imagining I'm like just on the side of like some scaffolding or on the top of some boxes or something, like in the alley, just like with my cloak kind of pulled over myself in such a way so that in the rain, it's like you can't really see much. I just kind of like pull it back, and I'm just like,
you're just there.
Yes.
Like a wave of acknowledgement.
Right. Okay. So, do we see an alley somewhere
You're
nearby?
You're kind of in alleys. You got to imagine this district, like a lot of fantasy cities in the rough areas. It's sort of like there's buildings above and some below, and you're kind of in these tight streets already.
I have an idea.
You're actually quite near a fountain, like a straight up like water fountain where people would get buckets of water and things. And there's actually a couple of cloaked individuals who are doing that for the night.
Okay. Is there near that fountain an alley that I know goes to a dead end, but maybe wouldn't look like a dead end initially? But basically, I want to feign that we're walking in it if we don't know what's going on.
You can give me a streetwise check. No, you can give me an investigation check, I suppose, or a history check, because there's not really the perfect sort of rule.
They're both the same,
for
so.
this, but you don't know one that necessarily would lead to a dead end. If you wanted to leave a little bit further, though, sort of a little bit outside of this area, the place where Tobias and Barut chased that King of Spears guy before did have a dead end that he climbed over, but like not everyone's going to climb a wall. So that's a little bit out of the way from here. If you want to stay here, you've really got this sort of like four-way road where this fountain is, and there's a little sort of nooks where there's pillars that are keeping buildings above there, which would be nice to hide in if you're, clung to shadows.
Yeah. I'm okay. I would suggest what we do is Aelin and I stop trying to be stealthy, at least for now. You stay stealthy. They haven't seen you yet, and we try and act like we're investigating this as we are, and try not to hide it. Try and get someone's attention. They think there's only two of us.
I mean, I guess this is mostly out of character, but I think that's a good idea. But this is more a question for Ollie. You said there's like a well in the middle of this area. Is it possible for me to hide in the well? Or is that going to be?
God.
It's possible. You got to imagine more like it's a bit of a fancy high elven fountain less than a well, but there's enough sort of like stonework there that I would totally allow you to try.
Because that gives you like a nice centralized.
It gives you a central point, and also that's instead of being sort of out of the way, which you would be if you sort of just using your.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because the other thing is like I'm happy to use my bow, but if I can be somewhere that I can just like kind of be laying down like under the water with like a straw and just like jump up out and be like with my swords, then that's going to be more effective.
I have to allow you to try. There's no way I don't my DM card gets taken away if I don't allow it. Straight up another stealth roll.
Alrighty.
Because like you said, like just laying in the fountain with like a reed, and you still have pass without trace. Yeah, absolutely. He's like, that's a good plan, and then you just see him sort of walk over to the well when people have looked away, and they can't even really see him because of the gloom and there's a little bit of mist, and you just sort of see the cloaked figure just like sort of go over the side, and there he's in.
All right, that's my plan of action.
That works. Okay. Now we're gonna continue investigating much less subtly. How about we go ask some of those cloaked individuals some questions that they probably don't want to answer.
And you go up to them.
Yep. Okay. So we go to one of the cloaked individuals that's there. I guess I still have the mask on. I'd actually probably take it off now because I put the makeup on.
Yeah, exactly. You just sort of, I imagine even if you put the makeup on, most of the time you still keep the mask on anyway. And then... Yeah, it's almost like taking your hat, like you say you're trustworthy, I'm here, I'm taking my mask. Exactly. They don't know I'm a drow. Really. So
I'm going to take the mask off. Hello, could I have a moment of your time? I just want to ask you some questions about this area.
Yes, what do you need?
Okay, so we're looking into something. It has to do with someone who may have been killed. We don't know the details. There could be coin in it.
You say that, and this is an elvish woman sort of thing. You can't really tell the age or anything. She kind of like shakes her head and is like, I know nothing about murders or deaths or anything. I'm afraid I really can't help you, sir. And it kind of like turns and starts. When you start backpedaling from a conversation.
Okay, well, if you know anyone who does, I would love to know.
And then she starts like full turns and sort of speed walks away from the little square.
I'm gonna turn to okay, well, chances are she's gonna go tell someone we're here asking questions. So now's a good time to get ready.
Excellent.
Do you want to sort of continue looking like you're being casual?
Yes, but I also want to look at what sort of area, who's around here, what sort of areas people might come from.
Now that those cloaked figures left quite hurriedly, there's no one here. There's a few windows, so maybe some people could see from windows. But it's basically a four-way intersection with this fountain in the middle.
Yeah. Okay. In that case, I have an idea. No, okay. I'm gonna go hide, and I'm gonna have an illusion of myself here with you talking.
Now, illusion can only be 5. Oh wait, you are like 5 foot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a little
never mind, you're
taller, but I
fine.
can slouch.
Yeah, you could be
I'm
like
only a-
crouching a little.
Yeah.
damn it.
Like, yeah, that'll work. I'm glad. Like, it's one of those times I'm glad that Drow is shorter, because I can be like, yeah.
Yeah, no, you know, I cannot argue with you doing that. You do need to give me another stealth roll. And both you and Aelinor have to give me deception rolls for kind of being like, oh, we're just here having a natural conversation. Sort of
I'm
thing.
glad I've got Pass Without a Trace on, because
I'm still
ouch.
rolling disadvantage.
Oh
Yeah,
damn.
don't you Eric it. It's
So,
slightly
deception?
worse. Yes, deception, please.
So it's not as bad as mine.
Yeah, if there was anyone here, and Tobias, you can sort of like, you can hear them, you can't see them, but just first of all, Virik can't make his illusion speak, so
no, I
he's
can't.
talking from where he is, trying to throw his voice,
And
so
I'm
he
not
kind
good
of
at it
ends
yet.
up sounding like Batman. And Aelinor is not a very subtle person and good at this kind of thing.
Something I do want to do though is I do want to cast this because if they have any of that stuff on them, I might be able to see them coming.
That's very smart.
Wow.
I actually
that's
really
good.
like that.
I
So,
like that.
because of that, because of the way this is sort of going to work, all of you give me perception checks, but Aelinor, you have advantage. Because that kind of makes a bit more sense for us. What's happening?
Finally a good roll.
Aelinor is one of those things you can sense, you know, the little bottles of poison sort of getting around surrounding you. From 3 of the 4 entryways of this place, they're coming. It's only Virik who's in their nice little advantageous hiding place, who can see that one of the people showing up, and they all have cloaks. And that, you know, oh, they're suspicious. No, and people wear cloaks in these fantasy lands, because especially when it's raining. But suspiciously enough, one of the cloaked people entering is the guard from before, who actually is coming around from a different way. But you can actually see that he's kind of like looking at other people with his eyes and sort of what's the word I want here? Sort of organizing them. So, if you give me one moment,
Oh, goody.
Just one.
just the one, I will put you in a battle map, and Mr. Tobias and Mr. Virik will both get surprise rounds. And unfortunately, that deception not good enough.
I'll also say, for the sake of, even though Eleanor would know, Virik wouldn't know that she knows, so Virik's gonna make his illusion do, and like put
Yeah.
three, and in the directions that they're coming in.
Yeah. All right. Ooh, let me check if I didn't clear the initiative order. I did. What if you give me little initiative rolls? Sometimes past Ollie helps future Ollie. It's very rare. Usually I'm just like, ha, screw that guy. He has to deal with all of this.
This initiative sort of fits.
Yeah.
All right. I will.
We know about what it's like dealing with shady people.
It's even better because I'm giving you a surprise round. So she's gonna basically do nothing for like 2 turns.
I'm waving to the guard.
Yeah. And he's like, looks behind him and is like incredibly confused by that, which actually is great because he's got a really bad initiative roll as well. Okay. So, Virik, with your surprise round, you actually get to act first.
Weird. Okay, so who is this I see here?
That is the guard.
That's the guy.
And he's
okay.
and from what you can tell, because you got the good perception roll, under the cloak, which is, you know, it's a rain cloak, so it's pretty covering. He's actually still wearing the full armor, and probably has the full equipment. You wouldn't be surprised if it was, you know, longsword and shield or something about to be whipped out.
Yep, I'm going to step one way this way. Oh, I can't see that way either. I didn't realize it was that way. Okay, in that case, I'm going to do this. That's 3. Oh, still can't see anything else. In that case, I'm actually just gonna, from here where I am, I'm going to boomerang at the guard to get his attention.
Feel free. You have advantage.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So boomerang.
Oh,
Glad I had
that's
advantage.
real good. He had armor, but not that good armor. You roll damage.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not super heavy damage.
Oh,
But
not
you
advantage to
do,
catch.
Sort of, he's looking at Aelnor as he's going up and again, like under the cloak, hand on blade. And then this boomerang just smacks him in the side of the head, and he just quickly turns and like sort of draws his blade as fast as possible, and sees you kind of.
Yep. So I've hit him. Now that I've hit him, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to punch him. So slide around and kick him in the back.
Feel free.
Thank you.
I just realized my.
I knew. The second I stepped out and saw you down there, I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Now that is not a hit because you rush around behind him, and from actually under the cloak, as you go to punch, you punch, boom, shield. It makes quite the clattering noise.
Twang. Oh well, at least everyone knows he has a shield now.
Yeah, exactly. And Tobias, your surprise. Unless you got into something else you want to do.
No, because I've used my bonus action. Never mind. We're good.
Tobias.
Yeah. So from this fountain, hearing that things are going down, I'm just gonna basically like position myself and springboard myself off of this fountain with like both swords in hand, just bursting up out of the water, like ha! And I'm just gonna try.
You very much have advantage.
I'm going to attack him with a couple of short swords. Huzzah.
I love D&D. Those are both hits. Go and stab a man in the back, quite literally.
I would have noted that I would have put my normal mask on now as well, since I'm with people that I've been seen with the normal mask.
You know what? That's fair. Yeah, you had time. All right, you run up to this guy, take him completely by surprise. It's like a ha-ha, and he's like, "What?" And you just his armor takes the brunt of the blows, but you tear the cloak off him. You see blood start to weep from under the sort of slightly almost scale-like armor, and he staggers back and tries to position himself in a way where he can defend against two maniacs, which is hard to do. And now it's Viric's turn again.
Yep. So
surprise round.
I'm going to do a short sword. Oh, I have advantage. I don't. Hey, that's more like it.
That's a hit.
And then I'm going to actually spend a key point to do flurry of blows. So. Oh yeah, that first one didn't hit though, did it?
Yeah, the first one didn't hit, but
oh, that's a punch.
Oh my god.
That's a punch and a half. That's like I caught the jaw at just the right place.
And you do, and it's like slow-mo, and he goes down. like a sack of elven potatoes.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's unconscious too, because you're unarmed.
Yeah,
so
perfect. That's actually okay.
I'm not even mad. That was genuinely like a brilliant moment. Tobias. Unless you want to move or anything, Veric, which you totally can, because you know there's more people coming.
Yeah, if I know there's more people, knowing that he's unconscious, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you can.
I'm actually gonna say leave this one alive, knowing that he's unconscious, not dead. And then I'm gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Awesome. Tobias.
1, 2.
And of course, these are very human-y tokens, but they are, of course, elves.
Yeah.
I don't have as many thugs as I want in my token set.
I'm gonna use my bonus action You cast Zephyr Strike. And I'm gonna do the thing immediately. Giving myself advantage on a weapon attack.
Yes.
And move really fast. And go... whoop. And I'm gonna stab this guy, maybe. It's a 15 hit him.
Let me check. Yes. Very much so. They're wearing leather. 15 very much hits.
Perfect. So yeah, I just kind of focus for a second and dash over there real quick and give him the old 1-2.
You freaking Quicksilver him? Yeah, that's horrifying. He's still up.
I feel like I just kind of like slide on the wet ground and like cut his ankle.
Yeah, and he goes down yelling and elvish extremities that always sound very satisfying.
That's my turn.
He's still up, still alive, or conscious, depending on how cruel you want to be today. He's still up, is what I was saying before my internet cut out.
Yeah.
Okay,
But use your bonus action to cast that. Yes, I was waiting for an offhand attack, but you know, I'm not that entirely stupid. Not all the time. Okay, so he's going to attack you back. Like, you bring him down to his knees, and he just immediately goes to his weapon and just swings at you. Pew! Whoop. What's your AC?
16.
15?
16.
16?
Because I have studs in my leather now.
Yes! He hits you just for a nice 3 damage. Cutting at you. His friend...
Here's my save for that spell that I have that's doing a thing. Okay.
Is going to just charge at Aelinor. He was kind of already charging when you guys had like sort of jumped out of cover, but just because he had to like react quick enough. He maybe is not completely noticed that Aelinor was on that his buddies over there is under attack because he's stupid. But Aelinor's armor, he just swings at her, and she's not even like fully like turned around to this whole scene yet. Just like clang off like one of the armored parts, and just nothing. Just like someone punching Superman. Nothing's gonna happen. This one is gonna whip out a short bow and just past Virik. That was gonna happen. That was that one, and this one's gonna go up to meet him. And sort of wait there.
Yes, just the right sort of.
He sort of positions himself in a place with his blade, ready to defend himself. Next up is Aelinor, who finally gets to do something. Yep. Luckily for me, you do not instantly decapitate this man. But it's he's screaming. he's screaming heavily. You like swing the blade heavily into his side as he's just sort of like dumbfounded that he just did nothing, and just brilliant. I love it. Virik.
Okay. I'm willing to take whatever acrobatic rolls I need to do this, but I want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, if you're going through someone, you definitely do need to give me an acrobatics roll.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And not Ericing it this time. I almost did.
Yeah,
I'll
you
take
easily can like, you could slip under Aelinor and this guy's legs. You know, it's fine.
Sweet. And then, well, if I'm going under the legs, I'm going to stab where it's going to hurt.
Oh no! I allowed this. That's a hit. It's very much a hit. And the guy passes out, bleeds out. In an order, he definitely died in a lot of pain. A lot of pain.
Whoops.
Whoops.
And that's all I could do, so yeah, that's my turn done.
Tobias.
That's gonna be me attacking this gentleman with 2 short swords.
Oh, yes, this gentleman there. Civilized lad. That's a hit.
What's up?
That is not a hit.
I believe you. Alright, so 8
I
piercing.
don't know,
damage.
they could be zombies or slimes. And that's enough to sort of, you know, cut to the neck. Take them down.
Perfect. And then I guess I'll move. Okay, that is my turn.
Awesome. Next up is their turn. There's only 2 of them left. One of them has a bow, and of course is going to use it. Oh no, wrong way. Going to shoot at. He was aiming at Aelnor, but as Tobias sort of wisps out, coded in moving at the speed of sound, is going to take a shot at Tobias and hit for 2 damage.
Oh god.
Oh golly! Just a arrow scratches you on the way past. You just don't even notice it. This guy is gonna. It's actually, you know what this guy does? The guy with the bow, he's a little more confident. He's a little bit further away. He's got the bow thing going on. The guy who sort of positioned his sword to fight Virik, and then Virik just dashed the other way, kind of sees, these 2 of his allies just get murdered brutally, and kind of in Elvish just goes back like, retreat, retreat, we can't take them, and we'll just immediately start running.
Oh, okay.
Aelnor.
I guess I will move up. And that's my whole turn
Yeah.
to do so.
1, 2, 3. There we go. I can see now. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I'm going to dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that works. There.
Mm-hmm.
So, hi. And that's my full turn, but I've now made it so you can't.
Yeah. Well, because if you didn't do that, I was gonna make it a chase next, but they can't get away from you properly now. So, Tobias.
And I've also seen how fast I run.
Yes, Tobias. Which is very fast.
I'm gonna move up to here, and as I do so, when I get into the square, I'm gonna just drop my swords and pull out my longbow and shoot at the guy who just shot at me, but not before I use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on him.
You know what? It's fair. It's fair.
Actually, you know what? Sorry, I'm not going to use Hunter's Mark. I'm going to use
the other one.
Layer's Prey.
Baby
which
Hunter's
is
Mark.
Hunter's Mark. Yeah, but for babies. Right.
Hunter's Mark Jr.
Yeah.
He is not a monstrosity. Okay, there we go.
He's just a very naughty boy. That's a hit. And these guys haven't taken any hits yet, though, so they're full health.
Okay.
Yeah.
For 7 demolished.
One of the things where as Aenor sort of jogs up to him and he's kind of, backing up with the bow, you manage to actually straight up just hit him with an arrow, and he kind of looks down and is like, I can't deal with that right now. I've got to fight for my life. And so that's how he does it. Okay. Now he's going to fight. And is he going to try and fight Aelnor, the scary woman running up to him?
You can try.
No, he's gonna. Well, he's gonna shoot at her, but he's gonna back up first. Yeah, he does hit. I say yeah, not because I want to be player versus DM, but it's just very hard to hit Aelnor, especially with the pitiful modifiers these just random street vermin have. So it's always impressive. Still rolls not great. So 4. Piercing damage, and the other one is gonna is running and then sees Virik get up to him, and you probably even go to trip him or something, so he turns and
I would
goes to fight at you because he has to go through you if he's gonna go at you, but it's just a easily predictable high swing, not even a problem. Next is Aelnor herself.
Well then.
Oh, yeah. How do you want to completely murder this man? You're muted.
Oh, you're muted.
Tesh, don't cast silence in the middle of a fight.
I'm not going to completely murder this man. I'm actually going to knock him out. So I'm going to take a good swing at him and kind of knock him off balance, and then just take his head and shove it into that wall. It's right there.
Yeah. You're Batmaning it. It's non-lethal, I promise. And Virik.
I'm going to move around to this side of it.
Still unharmed.
Yep. And I'm going to short sword.
Mhm.
Oh nope, that's the nope.
Nope, that's a miss.
It was
It's,
18.
no, I'm gonna hit him with the back of the. Nope, not gonna do either. I'm trying to keep him from moving. That's what's
Exactly.
going
You're doing a lot of the like awkward, like you're trying to meet someone. You're trying to walk down a hallway, and someone on the other side is like, oh,
Exactly, yeah.
Oh no, no. It's probably the most awkward thing anyone could ever do, aside from stream Dungeons and Dragons on the internet. Tobias.
Yeah. I already have my bow out, so I'm just gonna use my bonus action to put Slayer's Prey on this gentleman. And then try to murder him with a sharp object. Shot from a distance.
I will say it's a complete tangent because it's in chat. Batman Arkham, he totally just killed people. I loved that in the Spider-Man games, sometimes you knock people out, like they were out in the fight, but they weren't like unconscious. They were just like, oh shit, Spider-Man beat me up. Like,
Did you see
in
that?
that game, you kick people off buildings.
I did
there was
kick
a
people.
post.
But... Oh no, it's just you and us now, chat.
On
There's one where I saw them. I saw Spider-Man web someone to a wall in a fire.
They're fine. They're fine. Anyway, who might not be fine is the target of this crit.
Oh, yeah, might not be. Oh my.
Oh yeah, that's. How do you want to do this?
I mean, it doesn't need to be super over the top, as Virik is just kind of like pantomiming him. An arrow just kind of goes through him, and most of his face isn't there anymore.
Oh.
Oh.
You know
So
how
my-
elves think about their faces? How would you do? All right.
And then Tobias is like, "Now you have a scar." Because I know.
Okay, you know what? Fair. And with that little like ambush, they were trying to ambush you, or you were trying to ambush them. Both ways, ambush sandwiches ends with 2 unconscious members of them. One of them is a city guard. So that's great. What is it that you guys want to do next? Sort of with all these people. All right, this is gonna look real weird for a second, chat. But give me a minute. It's gonna look like
I would like to say we've had extreme success in our counter ambushes.
Yeah.
Your
it's
party
when people
kind
are
of
trying
deals
to
very
get
well at
us.
that.
Yeah, when people are trying to get us, we do well. When we're trying to get them, not so much.
So, it's also going to look weird when we carry these unconscious bodies to wherever we're going to interrogate them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, which is why, at least for the guard's sake, I'm going to try and cover as much of it with the cloak I can, and then I'm going to minor illusion whatever's sticking out to look like...
I was going to say that, the cloak is ripped, but minor illusion to cover your tracks. Smart.
Yeah, to whatever's sticking out to make it look like just one of the other the thugs. I'm going to point out that let's get them to that alley we know is a dead end now, and like that's nearby. It's at least a little bit defensible, and we can interrogate there. So yep,
That's true.
drag them there.
Sorry, chat, give me a moment. I accidentally opened Photoshop, so things might get a little weird.
What do we do
Won't-
with the bodies?
Won't close.
I'm gonna guess that they had plans to deal with our bodies, so I'm sure they'll have something to do with it.
Okay.
I imagine it's not something they want like to get out. Oh, these street thugs died trying to ambush someone.
Yeah.
Why were they ambushing someone? Who were they ambushing? Like that's not something they want to get out, so they're probably gonna.
So
hide
these
the body.
guys weren't dressed like any guards. There was one guard.
There's
these guys were
one
just-
guard. The others were dressed kind of how you expect the members
They're
of the
just
King
like
of Spears
thugs.
group. Like leathers, tattered cloaks, sort of.
Okay, because I
whatever
feel
they
like
found.
one of their bodies, if discovered, would draw way less attention than like
Yeah,
a
that's
guard's body.
that's one of the reasons I'm glad we left the guard alive. I didn't think about it, but as soon as Ollie said I got the knockout,
Well,
punch, I'm like,
exactly.
that is perfect.
Crits. I like to do crits as being the most lucky, the best case situation. So you would have wanted them unconscious, even if you didn't think about it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so once we get there, I want to search them both to see what they've got on them as far as like the vials, any sort of notes, anything like that would give.
They do both have vials of blue wine on them.
Okay.
The guards one is barely, like, it is more or less, like, full. The other guy's is, like, very much empty. The guard has a suit of scale mail, and but it is very much the elven city guard scale mail. And short sword, well, actually long sword, shield. Other guy has a long sword. If you do end up taking that armor, I'll have to look at some of my homebrew things, because I think I have something that better describes the elven guard's armor in one of the many homebrew PDFs that I have laying around. But yeah, they don't have a lot of incredibly interesting stuff on them. Oh, the guard has a pretty full pocket coin purse, actually. He's got around 10 gold in his coin purse, which very good.
Oh, do any of them have the poison on them?
Yes, yeah, that's the blue wine. They both had vials. The guard was barely touched. The other guy was
one in the party pool.
Yes, sounds good to me. So how much was that?
10 gold.
No, how much each? I missed that part. It cut out.
Sorry, 3 gold.
3 gold.
Cool. And one in the party pool. Yeah, I was just adding that. Also, the party pool sounds like something way more fun than it actually is.
Yeah, you're right. I never thought about that, but you're very much right.
3 gold now. But
man, we almost doubled your gold. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I guess. Oh, you have 3 gold total. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was on 0.
Yeah, we were talking about it before the stream. Virik has no money right now.
Okay. So I'm gonna make sure the weapons are off them. Maybe hide them nearby. Maybe even
just throw them in the gutter.
Yeah, they couldn't get them if they even did a dash or anything. They did. They pulled a fast one on us or something. I have. Do we have rope? I actually don't think I have rope for once.
I have 50 feet of rope.
Oh no, I do have rope. Good. Okay.
I have rope.
Good. You're good adventurers. You have 50 feet of rope each. That's, it's a requirement. So you could tie them up with no problem. They're unconscious. You don't have to do any kind of checks.
Okay. While they're still unconscious, I'm going to turn to the others. Okay, depending on how this goes, I saw the handwriting of the King of Spears. I think I did. I saw notes and official documents of his, maybe not his writing, but notes that would be his, right?
At least belonging to the organization. You have no way of knowing if anything was his. You haven't really gone through them properly yet.
Yeah, okay. Well, if I have something that is from their organization, I may be able to replicate documents that we can use to hand this guardian officially.
Okay.
To do that, we would need to know who to go to. So that may be a conversation for later, because this conversation might go differently anyway.
I will leave that up to you, and I'm going to take watch.
Okay.
Smart. Leave the ranger should be the one on watch, really.
Yeah. I am actually going to. You said it was raining?
Yeah.
Can I find any sort of gutter that's got water coming off it nearby?
Yeah.
I'm gonna wash off the makeup on my face.
Oh, okay.
Thank
yeah,
God.
fair.
I thought you were gonna say something way more horrifying.
No, I'm gonna wash off the makeup on my face and put my mask back on, because I have ideas of how to intimidate these people.
Whenever you're ready, I can make them
waterboard.
No.
I actually have a similar thought.
She's a paladin, though. That's,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not good, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I had other ideas first. I mean, it might get there. We'll see.
So whenever
Look,
you're
I'm
ready,
looking
I
at
can
what's
make them up.
happening over here. I'm not looking at what you're doing.
Yeah,
so.
No matter what, don't look back. Then you're not implicated.
Let's wake up. Actually, I was going to say let's wake up one at a time, but let's wake up both, but talk to the guard mostly. Just keep the other one watching for intimidation factor of when we then turn to him.
Yeah, and I'll gag that one that we're not talking to before we wake them up.
Smart.
Yeah.
You guys getting good cop, bad cop, these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna. I'll just tell them straight up. I'm going to at some stage during this reveal to them that I am a drow. And I'm going to use maybe a bit of a minor illusion to demony myself up a bit to match their sort of already ridiculous worries, and use the drow legend a bit to intimidate.
So I'm going to heal the guard first. Just 1 point of HP.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
conscious. And then, like, so he could like see me and it's visible, I will heal the other person.
Okay, cool. The guard wakes up, very suddenly. The other one takes a couple of moments to rouse. The guard wakes up very suddenly and immediately struggles a bit, and then sees you two kind of like leaning over him, and just sort of like closes his mouth and waits, because he knows something's about to happen. He's smart enough for that.
Okay, so you're looking for the King of Spears then?
I don't know what that could possibly mean. That's gibberish.
Oh, come off it. We both know what's going on.
Well, that's ridiculous because I explained to you the whole story.
That's actually...
Yeah, he kind of just like looks down like, shit.
So, let's drop the bullshit. So, is he got you addicted as well?
I'm not addicted to anything. I just do my job.
So, cut out.
Oh no.
He has a little bit of a stroke there because of all the brain down. He's just like, I just do my job.
Right. And how much is he paying you?
More than you could, bribe me to let me go, let you.
Oh,
go
I'm
off the
sure,
hook.
but we're not planning to bribe.
Moreover, what is your job, if I may ask?
He kind of like shakes his head, like, I'm a guard. And you can probably put together that someone like the King of Spears wants some guards on the payroll so that things go smoother with us.
Right. And what are these things that need to go smoother?
Honestly, it's petty stuff. We look away from the demanding of protection money, from the drugs in the street, from pretty much all the things he does. He talks a big game. Some of these kids do. He kind of like looks at the other one who's like listening to this, but is a bit confused. And like, but really, the King of Spears isn't going to do any of the things he says he is. He's just happy being the king.
Oh, and what does he say he's going to do?
You can give me an intimidation check.
Nope. That's okay, because I have a plan for what
I know,
happens if
yeah,
he's not-
you're really holding on to the big guns. And he just shakes his head and is like, if you've really been investigating this guy as much as you say you have, then you know what he says to take the young, stupid, and scarred and make them follow his little dandy dreams. But really, he just gets them hopped up on the blue wine so that they do what he says so that he can profit from it. But he's not even in it for the gold. He just wants to be in charge. Just like everyone else. Everyone wants to rule the world.
I'm going to take off the mask. And I'm going to use minor illusion to make the eyes glow red.
Yeah.
I said, what does he say he's going to do?
You can give me intimidation with advantage. It's one of those things when you take off the mask and, you're in the dark, you're in the rain, like,
Oh my
water's dripping
God.
down your hood. Like, you look terrifying for a moment, but you feel like this actually has slightly the opposite effect because, yeah, you're a drow. And these people tell stories of you being boogeymen, but this is a guard and probably wasn't always on this payroll. And the High Elves in particular, they see drow as an enemy to be conquered. So instead of seeing you as some sort of demonic monster, he almost sees you as like
okay.
a vermin. And just kind of like just laughs very loudly. It's like, oh, and what? Are your people gonna come in and take the place when you kill him? Just rule the Undercity of Thundral. Oh, of course. Drow in the City of the Sun.
I'm just gonna rest my greatsword on his shoulder. You seem like you know the king very well. well enough to know what his motives are, and well enough to know what he wants. So where is he?
Intimidation with advantage because the whole thing. You're doing very well. Ooh, my dice.
Yeah, you're a lot more intimidating with that sword. I need to get myself a big sword.
Yeah, just for show. Just you don't
Yep.
use it. You just have it for show there. Oh, the turn order tracker. I didn't notice. Luckily, it wasn't like sitting on Tesh's face the whole time like it does with Ian. Yeah, he kind of, again, squares his jaw, thinks about it for a few moments, and looks up at Aelnor and then at Virik and back to Aelnor and says, he had a base in the vineyards, but they that got burnt down, and then zombies attacked his other holdings, a silly little casino place. The dead rose and attacked him, and some people say it's the guilt of everything he's done that are raising the very spirits against him. Now, quite unwisely, he's held up in an old catacombs. It has no one of note in it. It is old, it is ancient, and no one dares look in such places. Otherwise they disrespect the dead. Those that aren't fully addicted to his substances no longer serve him because he disrespects the dead by hiding there. But it does work. No one's noticed him there yet.
Now, we have a bit of a problem. We let you go. You go when you tell the King of Spears. We turn you in. You've already admitted to having guards on the payroll. And you let them know. So exactly what are we to do with you?
You keep me tied up here until you... What's your end goal? You're gonna go kill the King of Spears? Then he's gone, and then you don't have to worry about me anymore.
I look at Varric like...
How does the King of Spears get in contact with you? How does he pay?
He has street rats who are willing to courier anything throughout this city.
Oh yes, but I'm sure you trusted a street rat when they came to you with the offer of this.
Oh, not the offer. No. He met with me personally. I'm very important to the organization.
Interesting.
This was a long time ago. I'm sure maybe in the time of her great-grandmother.
Once again, I'll ask you, what did he say he was going to do? I don't care if you think he's going to do it or not.
He
But what
has
did he
this
say?
story he tells the forgotten that really think that they can change things. Really, the youngest generation who know nothing can change nothing in this city of ancients. But he tells this big story of them taking back the city and taking all the people from their thrones and even the sun elves. It's all poppycock, but the children believe it because they're children.
I'm actually going to turn to the other one that's been sitting here watching and just say, has anything he said been a lie?
Intimidation check. With advantage. He's
Come on, that was an 18!
He's very wide-eyed, and it just kind of like starts shaking his head, but you can't tell if he's shaking his head just because he's scared of you, or this whole situation, or what, you know?
Well then, we have two problems. Okay. I'm actually gonna punch the both in the face and knock them out again. Just knock them both out. Turn to those. Turn to Eleanor. Ideas?
I don't think the younger one is much of a threat to us. He's heard what the King of Spears thinks about him now. I think we can let him go and he'll rethink his life choices.
The issue is the addiction, but I think he might lie to get more of that anyway. So I think you're right. The guard, on the other hand, is a bigger problem.
He is a bigger problem.
If we can't ask him how many there are on the payroll because he's just going to lie about that anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, getting him out of the city would be a problem. I was going to say the one idea would be to lock him in that house with what he thinks are all the undead still, and just keep him, lock him in a room. And like you stay here, or they're going to get you. But getting out of the city would be a problem.
Do you have any means of moving him with your shadow magic?
I can hide about 5 foot of him, but that's about it.
There's a crash of thunder in the sky above.
Mm-hmm. What should we do? I will call for Tobias at this point as we're having this moral dilemma.
You notice that they're unconscious but in different positions than before.
We've gotten the information we need from them, but we can't trust this one not to go tell his cohorts, and we cannot turn him into the guard because they have people there.
I think you're right.
I mean,
I'm actually going to start. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was just going to say, I was probably just perched up on top of this wall, looking around. I don't see anyone coming, do I?
Nah.
Okay.
I'm going to take the 2 bottles that they had, and I'm going to take the guard's full bottle, empty a little bit into the other bottle. Not all of it, but say
just
half.
To even it out.
Yep. I'm going to take the one that's we got off the other guy, and I'm going to put the other one back on the guard, and I'm going to start working on instructions from people about what to do in situations regarding people asking questions, and basically I'm going to start making a document with little instructions of what to do if he encounters people asking questions about the fires, people asking questions about try and make it look like documents that he would have been given as instructions.
Oh, I get it. Documents from the King of Spheres.
Yes,
so make him look even more guilty. Okay, I got. Took me a little bit of time to catch up there. Yes, that would be a forgery check, which if you
I do actually have.
Yeah.
I have a kit. So
hell yeah.
With what attribute?
Ooh, intelligence or wisdom, I'd say.
Oh, well, that's going to be intelligence then. Oh, not advantage. I ericed it.
You did.
Oh, and then it's a 3, of course.
It's one of those things where you start setting up all these things, you're in the rain. Even before you really start, you're in the rain. Even when you're under, an awning or something, it's still gonna drip in this kind of area. You cannot do this here, which means you cannot do it to plant it on him now. Yeah. You don't know how long he'll be out for, but you really need to find somewhere where you can actually put time into this and make it look good.
Okay.
And while you think about that, we will take a quick break. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes so they can keep being the crime party. I did say to Tesh that this would be a good session to do some crimes, so.
It's true. Dad's away.
Oh, yeah.